Okay, decided to go over some of the things that I've been thinking to share. Whether you're using a Harbor Freight quick change sprayer for your base coats or an airbrush for detail or base coats, I learned from Ed, Distortions Unlimited, one of the best, and he said if you're spraying rubber, now I'm starting to talk like it. If you're spraying rubber, you want to use what's in the rubber to clean the airbrush. So ammonia is in that rubber, so if you have latex in the paint, clean the airbrush sprayers with ammonia. Brushes too, I guess. And as far as whether you're spraying alcohol with ink in it, then you clean the airbrush with alcohol. So, and I kind of have had to use water for both, but usually a bucket of water sitting here and just clean the airbrush real fast and then change colors. But you can't change bottles, you know, you still got that bit of color in the where the bottle connects and things, and clean out your little cups. But I just have a bucket of water and just swish them around in there and then set them up here upside down and let them drain out. But it's good to have a bucket of water that's deep enough so you're not putting the airbrush in there and banging the tip on the bottom. So that has been done. So you want a deep bucket of water so you don't mess up your airbrush. And I learned from a lady making snowmen on YouTube that you put your stuff that's expensive in bottles in a bag so it lasts longer. That's a new tip that I got from a crafter. So you never know what you're going to learn. Like my Liquitex and this FX Warehouse flexible mask sealer, that stuff is expensive. So I put it in there. Now I got a cheaper sealer for like $4 or $5 at a pack of tans, and it doesn't work good for masks and things because it still kind of cracks, but it looks great. So I use that on things you're not going to stretch, so I'm not wasting my mask stretchable sealer, which costs a lot to get it. They don't like to ship first class, they just want a big order, and I was really twisting her arm just to send me a little bottle of that stuff. A pint lasted me 3 years, so I got half a pint this time. This is the pack tan stuff. I mean, I used it on this little Frankenstein. It looks okay. It's not going to get a lot of stretching, but it's a gloss. Now I can do a rub out on that Frankenstein, and that green won't rub off. That's what I use that for a lot. But, my latex is the Chaotic Creations. I love it. It's not as thick of a latex mask when you're done with this stuff, but it just seems more stronger. I don't know. There's not as many pores, but pores as in little breather holes in the mask when you're done. But it's a good latex, and I'm getting tons of decent thickness poured. That was an hour dwell. Pretty thick. But then I go back at the end and do a swirl with latex after it dries from the pour, and I use one of these silicone cooking brushes from Dollar Tree for $1. And once this dries, that latex pulls off and you use it again instead of using a 69-cent chip brush or something and throwing it away. But I use a chip brush when, you know, it's a real important thing and you need fine detail for sure, but this gets your detail. I mean, there's no areas that didn't get brushed in from this brush. And then I brush it again after it's dried and fill the holes on the inside, and it has like a textural pattern. But in this thing, another Dollar Tree item that I scrape the sides of the bucket down after I pour it into the mold, fill up this bad boy. I scrape down the sides of the bucket and then clean off the spatula and close up the bucket. And then you know, I clean up the edge of the mold with this. I mean, you can drip on a tray and then clean up the tray with this, put it back in the bucket, and just peels right off every time. I mean, indispensable, really. Distilled water. I use distilled water in all my paints, plaster. I don't add anything to the latex. I did that once and I'll never do it again. I mean, just use the rubber as it is unless it's unusable. It's my motto, because it'll just get worse and worse if you put something in there. You won't be happy, unless it's an emergency. And the only contact cement, or only glue that works for hair and masks and stuff for me is contact cement. I've used Aleene's, I've used numerous sprays, all kinds of stuff, even spray contact. But the only thing that I use now is just the dry connect. You know, you spray, you brush it on both sides, and then you put it together when it's dry, and it isn't going anywhere. But it's smelly, it's expensive, but it's the best. I mean, I've had wigs coming off of masks at a show that were done with Aleene's tacky glue, and I'll never do it again. You know, I've sprayed adhesives and they stink, and if you're going to smell something stinky, you might as well have a good contact and do it right. So that's what I use. I got to cover up my inks, or the cat will carry them upstairs, and one of these days he's going to puncture the rubber thing. It's going to be all red or blue or green. He's already got a blue spot on him. Okay, that's my tips right now. You know, I get the vinyl gloves at Harbor Freight with the coupon 20% off. They're $4.99. I use a ton of those gloves doing the hair. I mean, almost every 5 minutes I'm changing gloves doing hair because they just get all sticky up. There's the one-piece mold of the skull, and there is the skull. So we'll catch you on the next tips and tricks. So I'm gonna go make some lunch. Talk to you later.